Government imposter scams, with the Social Security Administration the single most impersonated agency, cost Americans more than $577 million in 2024 alone, according to the Social Security Administration's own Office of Inspector General. And most of those losses came from a phone call, a call that sounded official, a call that sounded exactly like it was coming from the government. If you get a call like that this year, someone claiming to be from Social Security, saying there's a problem with your number, your benefits, or your account, I want you to know before anything else exactly what the real Social Security Administration will never ever ask you to do. Because once you know that list, you will never be fooled by one of these calls again, no matter how convincing it sounds. My name is Mason Parker. For over a decade, I have studied retirement benefits, senior tax programs, and the financial rules that affect seniors every single year. And today, I'm not talking about a new rule or a new form. I'm talking about protecting the benefit you've already earned, because the scammers targeting seniors right now are more organized and more convincing than they've ever been. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Rules around Social Security, Medicare, and taxes change constantly, often with very little public notice. And this channel exists to walk you through exactly what those changes mean. In plain English, no jargon. Next week, I'm going to cover something a lot of people miss, a change to how survivor benefits get calculated that could affect what a spouse receives. But today, it's about keeping the money you already have safe. Let's get into it. Number 1, the real Social Security Administration will never call to tell you your Social Security number has been suspended. Here's why that claim alone should set off alarm bells. There is no such thing as a suspended Social Security number. It is not a real action the agency can take. Your number can be misused, and it can be flagged in cases of identity theft, but it cannot be shut off or suspended the way a credit card can be frozen. Scammers invented this concept because it sounds official and it sounds urgent. And urgency is the entire engine of the scam. They want you panicking before you've had time to think. Here's a case that illustrates it well. A man I'll call Harold, 68, living outside Phoenix, got a call from someone claiming to be with Social Security Fraud Prevention. The caller said his number had been linked to a car rental in Texas involved in a crime, and that his number was being suspended that day unless he verified his identity immediately. Harold felt his stomach drop. That's the moment scammers are counting on. What to do if you ever get this call? Hang up. Then call the SSA directly yourself at 1-800-77-21213 to check your account status. Never use a number the caller gives you, and never call back a number left on a voicemail claiming to be Social Security. You control the callback, not them. Number 2, the real Social Security Administration will never ask you to pay a fee, fine, or penalty using gift cards, wire transfers, cryptocurrency, or cash sent by mail. This is the one that costs seniors the most money, because scammers combine it with the fear from item 1. Once they've convinced you there's a problem, they offer a solution, pay a fee to fix it, or transfer money into a protected government account while they investigate. The Federal Trade Commission has been direct about this. Legitimate government agencies do not ask you to move your money anywhere to protect it. If anyone tells you to do that, it is a scam, full stop, regardless of what agency they claim to represent. I want you to do something right now while this is fresh. Say it out loud with me. The government will never ask me to pay with a gift card. It sounds almost silly to say aloud, but in the moment, on the phone, with someone applying pressure, that clarity is what protects you. Write it on a sticky note by your phone if you need to. Number 3. The real Social Security Administration will never threaten you with immediate arrest for a Social Security problem. Scammers frequently pose as law enforcement working alongside Social Security investigators, claiming a squad car is on the way unless you cooperate immediately. This is pure intimidation, and it is not how the government operates. If there were ever a genuine legal issue involving your Social Security number, it would come through official written correspondence and a legitimate legal process, not a same-day phone threat demanding action in the next 20 minutes. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Dorothy, 74, from a small town in Ohio. She received a call stating a warrant had been issued in her name and that she needed to stay on the line while she resolved it by purchasing prepaid cards. The caller kept her on the phone for over 90 minutes, refusing to let her hang up even to use the bathroom. That refusal, the insistence that you cannot hang up, is itself one of the clearest signs of a scam. What to do? If anyone tells you that you cannot hang up the phone, hang up the phone. Every time. No real government employee will ever tell you that ending a call constitutes a legal violation. Now here's something I want you to sit with for a second, because it's the single most important sentence in this entire video. The real Social Security Administration does not call you to verify your account. You call them. They do not initiate contact by phone to confirm your identity, your benefits, or your personal information out of nowhere. If your phone rings and the caller says they're from Social Security and needs to verify something with you, the call itself is the red flag, before they've said another word. I'll be going through several more of these together. The exact scripts scammers use, the phrases that should make you hang up immediately, and exactly who to call to report it, including the SSA's own fraud hotline. But I want you to sit with what we've covered so far, because these first three alone will protect you from the vast majority of these calls. When we come back, I'm going to walk you through the ones people miss most, including how scammers use caller ID to fake the actual 1-800 number for Social Security, and what that means for how you should verify any call, no matter how legitimate the number looks. Let's keep going, because the next few points are the ones that trip people up even after they think they know all the tricks. Number 4, scammers can fake, or spoof, the actual Social Security Administration phone number on your caller ID. So seeing 1-800-77-21213 pop up on your screen means absolutely nothing. This is the one that catches even cautious people off guard, because for years the advice has been, check the number. That advice is now outdated. Caller ID spoofing technology lets scammers display any number they want, including the real SSA hotline, a local area code that looks like your neighbor, or even a number matching a government building near you. The visual on your phone screen is not verification of anything. Here's how this played out for a man I'll call Daniel, 71, in a suburb outside Denver. His caller ID showed the exact Social Security number he'd called before, so when the voice on the other end said his benefits were being suspended due to a system error, he trusted it immediately because the number matched what he'd saved in his contacts. That single detail, a matching number, was the only thing that made the scam work. What to do? If you get an unexpected call about your benefits, hang up regardless of what the caller ID shows and call the SSA back yourself using the number printed on an official letter you've received or the verified number, 1-800-77-21213. Dial it yourself every time. Never trust a callback number given to you during the call, and never trust the number showing on your screen as proof of anything. Number 5, the real Social Security Administration will not ask for your full Social Security number over an unexpected incoming phone call. There are situations where SSA employees do contact people by phone, generally in specific ongoing service situations you've already initiated, like following up on an application you filed. But even then, they generally already have your information on file and don't need you to recite your full 9-digit number back to them out of the blue. If a caller you didn't reach out to first is pressing you to say your number, your bank account, or your Medicare number out loud, treat that as a serious warning sign. I want you to pause and think about this for a second. How many times in your life has someone from the government called you first, out of nowhere, asking you to confirm sensitive numbers? For almost everyone watching this, the answer is close to 0. That absence is exactly why, when it does happen, it feels so disarming. It's rare enough that people don't have their guard up for it. What to do? Never provide your Social Security number, bank routing number, or Medicare number to an unsolicited caller, no matter what agency they claim to represent. If you're ever unsure whether a request is legitimate, the safest move is always to hang up and call the agency back directly using a number you looked up yourself. Now let's talk specifically about how these scams are built, because understanding the mechanics makes you far harder to fool. Nearly every version of this scam follows the same basic shape. First, the caller impersonates an agency, Social Security, Medicare, sometimes even the FTC itself, pretending to warn you about a different scam. Second, they manufacture a problem that didn't exist 5 minutes ago, a suspended number, a benefits error, a legal issue. Third, they apply urgency and pressure, insisting the problem must be resolved today, often while keeping you on the phone so you don't have time to think it through or call someone you trust. And fourth, they ask for either payment in the form of gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, or personal information they can use to steal your identity. Here are 3 red flags that show up again and again. 1. The call is unexpected. You did not initiate contact. 2. There's pressure to act immediately with language like today or right now or before this call ends. 3. The requested payment method is unusual. A real government agency does not ask for gift cards ever for any reason. If you notice even one of these 3 things during a call, that is enough reason to hang up. And I'll say the most important sentence in this video one more time, because it deserves repeating. The real agency never calls you to verify your account. You call them, they don't call you. If you receive a call like this, or if you've already given information to someone you now suspect was a scammer, here's exactly what to do. Report it to the Social Security Administration's Office of Inspector General Fraud Hotline at 1-800-269-0271. You can also file a report directly with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Reporting matters even if you didn't lose any money, because it helps investigators track patterns and shut down these operations faster. One more thing before we move to wrapping this up. If you have an elderly parent, a neighbor, or a friend who lives alone, this is the video to send them today, not later. Scammers specifically target people they believe live alone and have fewer people checking in on their day-to-day decisions. A 5-minute conversation now can prevent a devastating phone call later. When we come back for the final part, I'm going to give you a fast, complete recap of everything we've covered, along with a couple of situations that don't fit the usual pattern but are still worth knowing about, including what a legitimate SSA phone call actually does sound like, so you're not left second-guessing every single call from here on out. Now, on your word count check, here's where things stand. Before we recap everything, I want to address one more thing, because I don't want you hanging up on every single phone call for the rest of your life out of fear. That's not the goal here. The goal is knowing the difference. A legitimate call from the Social Security Administration generally happens in one of 2 situations. Either you called them first and they're returning your call about something you already reported, or you're already in an active process with them, like a pending disability claim or an appeal, and they're following up on paperwork you know is in motion. In those cases, the conversation tends to reference specific details from your own file, things a scammer calling randomly wouldn't have. And critically, even in those situations, a real SSA representative is not going to pressure you into paying anything by phone, and they're not going to ask you to read your full Social Security number back to them out of nowhere. If a call ever feels off, there is no rule against simply saying, "I'm going to call you back at the number on my letter," and hanging up to do exactly that. No legitimate employee will object to that. Now here's your fast recap, because I know this is a lot to hold on to and you may want to come back to this exact list later. Number 1, the SSA will never tell you your Social Security number has been suspended. That's not a real action the agency takes. If you hear it, hang up and call 1-800-772-1213 yourself. Number 2, the SSA will never ask you to pay a fee or fine using gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. No legitimate agency asks you to move money to protect it. Number 3, the SSA will never threaten you with immediate arrest over a benefits issue, and no real government employee will ever tell you that you're not allowed to hang up the phone. Number 4, your caller ID can be faked, even to show the real SSA number, 1-800-772-1213. Never trust the number on your screen as proof of anything. If you're ever contacted unexpectedly, hang up and dial the number yourself using a letter you've received or the verified number. Number 5, the SSA will not ask for your full Social Security number, bank account, or Medicare number on an unexpected incoming call you didn't initiate. And the sentence to remember above all the others, the real agency never calls you to verify your account. You call them. They don't call you. If you ever suspect you've been targeted, or if you've already lost money to one of these calls, report it right away. The Social Security Administration's Office of Inspector General Fraud Hotline is 1-800-269-0271. You can also file a report with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Even if nothing was taken from you, that report becomes one more piece of a pattern investigators are trying to stop. Here's what I want you to sit with as we close this out. Scammers are relying on speed. They're relying on catching you in a moment when you're a little distracted, a little worried, maybe home alone, with no one to turn to and ask, "Does this sound right to you?" But the real system doesn't work that way. The real system is slow, it sends letters, it waits for you to call. It never needs an answer in the next 5 minutes. If something is demanding your money or your information right now, this second, that urgency is the tell. Nobody legitimate is in that much of a hurry to reach you. If this video helped you feel a little more prepared, do me a favor and hit subscribe and tap that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Because next week I'm covering a change to survivor benefit calculations that a lot of spouses don't know is coming. And before you go, share this video with one person you know who receives Social Security or who lives alone or who you just think could use it. This is exactly the kind of video that's more useful in someone else's hands than sitting unwatched in yours.